Hello and welcome to the weekly review summarising last week's Star Citizen shows and questions answered by official sources. This week we had a 10 for the producers, and it was presented by Dorian Vorlik and Eric Kieran Davies. This was episode 12, and a lot of questions answered here were relating mainly to the role of what a producer actually does. So producers for CIG overview the project and its progress. They coordinate the various departments, studios and disciplines and trying to enforce realistic schedules and timelines. They have at least a small amount of working knowledge about the disciplines they are coordinating. Their roles are not to directly work on the game's content, but to bring it all together, make schedules, improve efficiency and communication, and make sure everyone's on the same page. When technical blockers are encountered, for example, they will need to revise schedules and reprioritise assets. If you'd like to see a more in-depth role of what exactly producers do at CIG and Star Citizen, then episode 12 of 10 for the Producers is worth watching in its entirety. Reverse the Verse Special. This month was presented by Ben Lesnick and Jared Huckabee. This is a monthly Reverse the Verse show where they have special guests from the CIG team on, and then subscribers can ask them questions. This month was Artist Heavy with Jeremiah, Gurmuk and Elwyn present. We found out the P-72 has been finalised and is 95% complete. We will see this very, very soon. With ship skins, paints and customisation, they're looking at ways to allow players to do it and to make it as simple as possible. But they're really focusing on content first, and this kind of customisation will come later. We may get some new Nix updates for the Nix landing zone as early as 2 weeks away when they go and visit the Austin office, but no promises there. Only some suits and outfits will be EVA capable, so you'll be able to put a helmet on some of them and it will lock on, and then you'll be able to EVA. There is going to be a lot of outfit and suit customization in the future though. We were told that the UK are working on the Aegis, Misk and all the Vandal ships, and Austin and Santa Monica have all the Anvil, Drake, RSI and Origin ships. Consolidated Outland hasn't really been allocated somewhere it's going to be made yet, or the ships are going to be worked on. And Crusader, Ayapoa and Isperia, they weren't really mentioned at all, but at the moment they only have one ship, so I'm assuming that'll be case-by-case basis. The Starfarer is getting built right now and everyone's very excited about that. The Constellation is a huge part of Alpha 2.0. Both Santa Monica and Austin are currently working on it to make sure it's complete. This will be the Andromeda, and variants of the Constellation won't be out for a while, but you're going to get an Andromeda loaner until they are in 2.0. So if you've got any form of Constellation, you'll be given a loaner Constellation until your particular Constellation is totally finished. And Alpha 2.0 is pretty much focused on the Retaliator and Constellation, and obviously those single-seater ships that we already have in Arena Commander. More multi-crew ships will be available soon after the launch of 2.0. Freelancer won't be in the 2.0 launch, obviously, but they're having lots of work done to it at the moment, so hopefully that will be done quite soon. The F-7A military Hornet kit upgrade will be the same military kit that the Squadron 42 ships are getting. The Sabre also won't be in the 2.0 launch, but it will be fast to get out as a flyable ship compared to most other concept ships, as it doesn't require any extra mechanics. On Around the Verse Season 2 Episode 5, presented by Ben Lesnick and Sandy Gardner, we had a variety of different little informational tidbits. The shopping UI is being revamped and worked on, as well as the Kasaba outlet clothing store. That's in the works too, and should be with us reasonably soon. They are dampening the head shake and head bob with the emotes as well, because some players were complaining that was making them feel a little bit sick. Those little repair bots that we saw at CitizenCon in the multi-crew 2.0 kind of experience, they're getting worked on. They're not representative of the final game though, they are just a temporary 2.0 release thing so that people can get repaired, and there's a reason why they get repaired rather than just going, you're repaired. Ship traffic and AI background effects are being worked on. So this for 2.0 means that when you go to different zones, when you go around the map, when you go to do different missions, there's going to be other stuff happening in the background. There might be UEE versus pirate fights, there might be traders getting on with their lives, other ships might turn up to attack you, to aid you. and if these NPCs get damaged, they'll go off to a repair pad too. We got to see the new Foundry 42 German office. We were given a little walk around. They said it can take up to 49 people, and they currently have 30 there, so they're looking for more staff. We also got to see the flight models in more detail. So this is going to be phased in with Star Citizen Alpha 2.0. The flight models even has its own post on the RSI website now, which is worth watching or reading, whatever your preference is. But the basic flight modes that are being introduced are Precision Flight, that's for precision maneuvers, taking off, landing, docking, that sort of stuff. SCM, this is your typical space combat mode, basically, and it's going to be what we have now. But we're going to have the added addition of Afterburner, giving you greater velocity when activated. This is an addition to Boost, which already exists in-game, which basically improves your braking and handling. Cruise is also getting phased in. So this is velocity at the expense of control. The available acceleration doesn't change though, so you'll still have to get up to these higher speeds, but cruise will allow your ship to travel at a much higher speed than we've previously been able to travel at. And in all these modes, you have some form of being able to use decoupled mode, as well as some control. Cruise is the least controlled mode there so far, and will mean that although you're not going to be going in a straight line, you're not going to be able to turn very easily. And then there's quantum travel. So all ships in quantum travel will move at 0.2c or 0.2 of the speed of light. If a collision is detected or the ship's shields go down, they'll be pulled out of quantum travel. It's extremely fast travel in a straight line. The article then goes on to talk about the Intelligent Flight Computer System, which basically grabs data and crunches numbers to work out how much thrust you need to maneuver, that sort of stuff. But players will also be able to upgrade their flight control software and their thruster hardware to build ships that suit their playstyles. The post and interview goes into the mechanics of how this will all work in much more detail, and if you're into the science behind some of the mechanics, it is worth a read. This week's MVP was the Stargazer for getting a constellation model and actually showing it flying, basically. That man has a great job. And this week's sneak peek was, again, a look at the Xi'an design board, but this was at a more developed Xi'an Scout. Again, on this week's Around the Verse, episode 69, there was a wealth of knowledge imparted upon us. The next Professions update is likely to be Repair, as the Crucible should be the next sail ship. Unmelt requests are still on hold. Hold off on putting them in for another couple of weeks, please, guys. Other than the up to 10 referrals currently available for rewards, there will also be rewards for 25, 42, and 100 referrals. Auto-tracked gimbal turrets have been discussed as a possibility. They won't be free, there will be some direct cost for using them, and it possibly could happen, but they won't have the same potency as using those gimbals, using those weapons yourself. There aren't any new mini-games currently being worked on. Next week we're likely, or possibly, going to see the special concierge card on sale. The QA team are the team that find ways to break Star Citizen. They test it to break it. The bug with SLI that's causing issues has been fixed internally and should be coming out with the next patch. There's also a time of day issue with the hangar lighting at the moment. Once that's fixed, the hangars will look even better, and that should be fixed super soon. It looks like a lot or most bug fixes currently, though, may just come out with Alpha 2.0, as it's pretty damn close to release. There was a load of Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 information as well. There's going to be a huge area in 2.0, loads to explore. If you try and land on planets, though, you'll get a gravity warning, and if you try to continue, you'll die eventually. We won't be able to visit each other's hangars in 2.0, that will be with the Persistence update. And you're not going to be able to create a private instance for 2.0, but you should be able to join your friend's instance. They're currently finishing the list of loaner ships for 2.0 alpha, so if you have a larger ship or a equivalent ship to a Constellation or Retaliator, you will be given a Constellation or a Retaliator as a loaner ship until your ship is completed. They have been talking about currency for 2.0, and they're considering REC now, but 2.0 is mainly to prototype economy and missions and lots of the stuff they need for 2.0, lots of the stuff they need for the actual persistent universe. But they're going to wait for that to be 100% stable. They're going to wait for 2.0 to be stable before implementing any way to rent or temporarily buy ships for the PU. The features we're going to have for 2.0 are pretty much what we saw at CitizenCon at launch. So there's going to be some surprises there as well, they've said, but it's a foundation that they can expand game mechanics upon, and those game mechanics will be added as soon as they're ready to test. So you'll basically be able to steal people's ships without penalty in 2.0. There's no persistence in the game yet, there's no rep system in the first drop. Ragdoll zero-G physics are apparently amazing to watch as well. And there's always lots of questions about ships on RTV too. The concept phase for the Crucible is all pretty much finished. They'll just trying to work on what they're showing people for when it goes up on sale. We'll see this ship soon. The 890 Jump will probably go on sale again at some point. The P72 Archimedes will be shown very soon. And once the Reliant variants are done, they'll start work on the Prowler. Thank you so much for watching, guys. That's it from this week's review. Captain Flint is streaming Star Citizen and some other games for Extra Life in his 24-hour live stream starting this Halloween Saturday, 10 AM UTC. Please check that out if you have time. Extra Life is a great cause, and there is a Retaliator amongst some other prizes to be won too. Take care, and I'll see you in the verse.